Crossroads of Hope. Smoke hung heavy over the Guatemalan highlands as Miguel loaded a battered bag onto the family's mule, his eyes fixed on the path ahead. Lucia, clutching her rosary, whispered prayers for safety while her son, Carlos, lingered by the doorway, staring at the mountains. The war had consumed their village, leaving ashes and fear, and now they fled with only hope and each other. The trek through the jungle began with silence broken by distant gunfire, the echoes of a conflict they couldn't escape. Miguel led the way, his machete carving a path through thick foliage as Lucia and Carlos followed close behind. Nights in the jungle were shrouded in darkness, where every rustle of leaves felt like a predator stalking them. Carlos struggled to keep up, his teenage legs aching, but he refused to slow the family's desperate march. A murmur of voices in the distance sent them diving into a thicket, hearts pounding as soldiers passed within earshot. By dawn, they reached a river, its currents swift and dangerous, but crossing it was their only choice. Miguel tied their few belongings together, determined to keep them dry as he tested the water's strength. With Lucia clutching Carlos's hand, they waded into the icy river, their steps uncertain and slow. Halfway across, the current surged, dragging Carlos under, but Miguel's strong arms pulled him back to safety. Exhausted and soaked, they collapsed on the far bank, grateful for another day of survival. Weeks passed as they followed trails marked by others who had fled, each marker a symbol of fleeting hope. A small town offered temporary refuge, but rumors of government spies forced them to keep moving. A coyote promised to guide them north for a steep price, his gaze as sharp as the knife on his belt. Miguel hesitated, wary of the man's intentions, but desperation outweighed caution as he handed over their savings. The journey through Mexico was grueling, each day filled with hunger, heat, and the threat of betrayal. Lucia tended to blisters on Carlos's feet, her gentle touch a rare moment of comfort in their ordeal. The coyote grew impatient, his temper flaring as the group slowed, his threats a reminder of their vulnerability. When they reached a cramped safe house, it reeked of sweat and fear, with dozens packed like cattle. A young woman shared her story of escape, her words a mirror of the horrors they'd left behind. Miguel vowed silently to protect his family, his resolve hardening with each tale of cruelty. At night, Carlos stared at the stars through a cracked window, dreaming of a life free of fear. They boarded a truck under cover of darkness, crammed among strangers, the air thick with exhaustion. The border came into view, a line between despair and the faintest glimmer of opportunity. Guards patrolled the fence, their flashlights slicing through the night like blades of light. The coyote signaled for silence as they crawled through brush, hearts pounding in synchronized terror. A helicopter's spotlight swept over them, forcing them to freeze, faces pressed into the dirt. Minutes felt like hours until the light passed, and they scrambled toward the opening in the fence. Crossing into the US felt surreal, but the danger wasn't over as they sought a place to hide. The coyote abandoned them near a desert town, leaving them to navigate their next steps alone. Hunger gnawed at them as they wandered, their faith tested but unbroken. A kind stranger offered food and directions, her quiet generosity a lifeline in their darkest hour. They found shelter in a church basement, where other migrants shared their stories and pooled resources. Carlos bonded with a boy his age, their laughter a brief reminder of childhood's innocence. Miguel searched tirelessly for work, his pride bruised but his determination unshaken. Lucia volunteered at the church, finding solace in helping others who had suffered as they had. News of raids spread fear through the community, a constant reminder of their precarious status. Carlos longed for school, a place where he could learn and feel normal, if only for a while. A sympathetic lawyer visited the church, offering advice but no guarantees of legal safety. Miguel took a job in construction, working long hours under the hot sun, earning just enough to survive. Lucia grew a small garden behind the church, its blossoms a fragile symbol of renewal. Carlos studied English with donated books, his mind hungry for knowledge despite his uncertain future. They became part of the church community, finding strength in shared meals and whispered prayers. A local woman taught Lucia to sew, giving her a skill to contribute to the family's income. Carlos joined a youth group, where he found friendship and the courage to share his story. Miguel sent letters back to Guatemala, hoping for news of relatives left behind. The threat of deportation loomed over them, but they refused to let fear paralyze them. A neighbor reported them to authorities, forcing them to flee yet again, their trust shattered. They found refuge with another family, who opened their doors despite the risks. Miguel and Lucia debated their next steps, torn between staying and seeking asylum elsewhere. Carlos began writing poems about their journey, his words a testament to their resilience. The church organized a fundraiser to help them, rallying the community to support their cause. They celebrated Christmas together, their first in the US, with humble gifts and heartfelt gratitude. A local organization offered legal assistance, giving them a sliver of hope for their future. Miguel's hard work earned him a promotion, a small victory in their uphill battle for stability. Lucia's garden thrived, its vibrant flowers a reminder of life's ability to endure even in harsh conditions. Though their journey was far from over, they embraced the present, finding strength in community and each other.